Hello there, this is James S. Crofty, known as 1978, and having simply not been bothered to watch beyond the first episode of Loki because I instantly realised that its main, if not sole, purpose was to introduce the multiverse, thus rendering all deaths and endings mutable, and opening the door to introduce new, in massive air quotes, characters and storylines into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I have actually watched the first, and at time of recording, only 5 episodes of Disney's, Marvel's, Hasbro's, Mattel's, Lego's, Duplo's, McDonald's What If, only to confirm that A, the only reason to create a multiverse, alt-universe, or whatever else you want to call the justification for your glorified fanfic is that you've completely run out of ideas, because B, the problem with all fanfic is that 999 times out of 1,000, if the story were any good and not merely a pathetic pile of fan-wanking tropes and cliches, then it's what the creators would have made in the first place. As a matter of fact, this is my main, if not sole, problem with Invincible, my condemnation of which is listed down as the underbar, and beyond What If as well, from WandaVision being nothing but Avengers Pleasantville and a parody of the sitcom genre, to Shang-Chi being a 90s-style kung fu action movie that just happens to be part of the MCU, it's impossible to shake the feeling that Marvel is desperately rummaging through the pop culture toy box in search of anything and everything to keep the franchise on life support, until, just like it did with the original grab bag of films and ideas, it can piece together the illusion of another ongoing story that filmgoers will become invested in, effectively just throwing spaghetti at the wall and declaring that whatever sticks until the end was their master plan all along. Indeed, if you'll forgive me for being even more cynical, it's also impossible to shake the feeling that the entire series exists for no other reason than to be test marketing for a female Captain America to replace Steve Rogers, literally just pulling a Rule 63 by recreating the story practically beat for beat, but reversing the gender roles to profit from the pseudo-feminist corporate illusion of wokeness, with the rest of the episodes being literally nothing but filler to distract us from that fact.
They aren't woke to make the world better. They're woke for you to buy stuff.
Next, we have the singing Jasmine doll from Hasbro, inspired by the Disney's Aladdin movie.
It's not the system that's bad, it's that women aren't allowed to be CEOs. Let Jasmine be a girl boss, Sultan.
Because honestly, What If T'Challa Became Star-Lord is a well-deserved love letter to Chadwick Boseman at the expense of the mediocre white boy with delusions of grandeur, and a massive lampshade pointing out how utterly stupid Thanos' master plan truly was. What if the Avengers had been killed before they ever became a team? Then Nick Fury would have just called in Captain Marvel a little earlier. What if Doctor Strange lost his humanity and destroyed the world trying to bring back the woman who he loved? You mean stock sympathetic supervillain motivation A2? Ah, but you see it's clever because by spending centuries absorbing demons to gain the power to bring her back, he becomes a literal monster with demonic wings and tongue to reflect the fact that he is a monster on the inside as well. Yes, we get it. Very subtle. Oh yes, and the clever fake-out in the title designed to make people think that it would be about Doctor Strange becoming Iron Man. I wonder how many fanboys were fooled by that, although actually no, now that I think of it, I honestly don't care. And What If Zombies? You get every zombie movie ever made, but with MCU characters, complete with Peter Parker hanging lampshades on the fact that the plot was painted by numbers by sarcastically asking if anyone's ever seen a zombie movie before. So while there might be another test marketing episode for the canonical films at some point, introducing a hashtag new character and measuring the level of fanboy squealing before deciding whether or not to invest in a live-action movie, please excuse me while I go and shake my out-of-touch wrinkled old man fist at the nearest clown for the next decade and a half.
And all the girlies say I'm pretty fly for a white guy.